back. Victor Antonio, back for another question from the field. This one has absolutely nothing to do with selling, but it has everything to do with selling. This question comes to us, and it really comes in basically talking about, how can we become a better listener, right? Mm-hmm. And I've talked about that a lot, and I want you to frame it up a little bit, but I think too often we do too much yakking. And I think if we're doing most of the talking, then we're not doing much selling, in my mind, right? These silver-tongued devils that they talk about being these sales gurus, right? These folks that come in and they think they're going to light the world on fire here at Orkin. They fall flat on their face here, man, because they don't know how to listen. Right. They go in with preconceived ideas of what they're going to pitch and throw up on customers, and they think they're going to get them because they're butter smooth.
That's right.
And they're never butter smooth.
Butter smooth.
They slip in the butter pile and they fall flat on their face. Talk a little bit about listening. I know you've done a lot of research on it.
It's really hard because depending on which study you believe, we speak. Well, I probably speak faster, but the average person speaks about 180 words per minute. Think about it, 180 words per minute. But the brain processes at about 500 to 600 words per minute. So your brain intake is faster than the person's able to speak, which is why when somebody, tell me this has happened, somebody's talking, you're like, in your mind, you're like, hurry up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like when I'm talking to my wife, I'm like, in my mind, I'm going, hurry up. But I don't say that. I used to say that. I got smart. So what you do is, what I've learned is that listening is an interesting way of selling. It's covert selling in this sense, because what you're doing is when you're really listening to somebody, you're really kind of connecting with them, right? And you're getting to that empathy piece. Now, when you're listening, don't listen to respond. You've heard that phrase, right? Some people listen waiting for their turn to respond. And the thing is, one of the things you have to do is just, first of all, just listen. Just try to understand the problem behind the problem, or the issue behind the issue. So when someone's talking, just listen. Now, here's something you have to delete in your head. You got to delete this in your head. And that is, you think that by talking fast or selling faster, that you'll close the deal faster. No. You got to slow down to speed up. Let me say it again. You got to slow down to speed up. So take your time in asking the right questions. See, that's the power. If you want to be a great communicator in sales and you want to sell, not pressuring, but nudging, just listen. People will tell you what they want to know from you. So if you want to be a great listener, keep in mind, your brain's processing information faster, so you have to tell yourself, calm down and really listen. You got to stay in the moment. I can't train that. You have to kind of just practice that mindfulness. Number 2, when somebody finishes talking, do not be that quick to respond. Like, if you got to take a beat, a moment, a pause, then do so. Now, number 3, the tip. By the way, when you're taking the pause, you're letting them know you're thinking, you're reflecting, and you're really listening. Number 3, when somebody finishes talking, but you feel like there's more, all you have to do is, when they stop talking, just keep nodding your head. Just like this. It's going to feel uncomfortable, weird, just like right now. And what they found, studies found that by nodding your head and not saying anything, clients will give you 25% more information on average, which allow you to have more information to actually be able to communicate. Because remember, we're trying to get information from them so we can then sell them on what they already told us they want. So listening is a powerful tool, but it's hard, Ed. It is really hard to practice. And I guess we're all a work in progress, but if you keep that in mind, that if you just slow down, have the conversation, don't rush it, in the end, the payoff's there with the close.
That's me nodding my head and pausing.
Okay, so he wants me to continue.
Right? No, just think about that. Right?
I love it.
So, Victor's talking, and I'm thinking, what am I going to say next? And then he said, just slow down and listen, right? So that's what I did, right? And I think that's impactful for all of us when you kind of go through that. And, you've heard the stories before about the best conversations that you'll ever have. When you walk away from them, when you break them down, you find out that, you did most of the speaking in the conversations that you're comfortable with, right? When you leave a conversation, say, well, I had a great conversation with Victor today. When you analyze it, when you break it down, you did most of the talking because he was a great conversationalist because he was listening. He heard from me. Yeah. I want people to hear me. So think about that with your customers. Let them talk to you. Yeah. Let them talk to you. Listen. Let them leave with the fact that, hey, that was a great experience talking to Ed the Orkin Pro. Yeah. That was really cool. He listened to me. Yeah. That other guy that came in here, that other girl that came in here, they were just talking.
They're just
presenting. They didn't let me get a word in edgewise.
Presenting. Another thing, if I can mention, so I forget it, I think it's important. Tell me if you agree. It's the follow-up questions that you ask to whatever the statement was. So if you said something and I said, tell me a little bit more about that because I'm trying to understand. and then or you pare it back, right? First of all, is just tell me more so I can understand, or you pare it back. You mentioned this, is this what you mean? And they go, yeah, that's what I mean. Well, let me ask you a question. And then you ask a deeper question. Have you thought about this? And as soon as the customer goes, no, I've not thought about that, you're on to something. And by that I mean is that when a customer doesn't know, it's not that you're trying to play this gotcha game with them,
right,
but you're trying to get to a point where you're demonstrating that you're thinking about things that maybe they haven't thought about. These are called unconsidered needs. Like, have you thought about this? Never thought about that. And the more salespeople can ask questions to uncover these unconsidered needs, the more, again, they psychologically position themselves as experts with the client.
Amen. Amen. I love that. You know, I mean, I've forever tried to be a better listener. You know, my wife doesn't believe I'm practicing that very much, but I'll keep trying. She's hung around for 39 years at this point, so maybe she will start to listen to me. Maybe we'll figure that out. Maybe you can help me with that part
No, I
of
can't.
listening. I don't think so.
Nope.
All right, let's get out of here. Continue to separate yourself from the competition by being different and good selling. We're out.